All right, so this is a suggestion via a donation. The name of the video is Visit America, the don'ts of visiting the USA. Let's go and check it out. Okay, all right. American reacts to American stuff. Let's get it.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're in Mystic, Connecticut, in a beautiful place here in the U.S. And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting the U.S. because anywhere you go in the world, there's things you should do, but there's also things you shouldn't do. And this video is going to just cover the U.S. in general, okay? And our first don't for when you visit the U.S. is
let's go.
Don't touch the Americans.
Absolutely don't touch us. You're right. Personal space. Oh, good. He points it out here. And if you're in the South, we're probably armed. Please, don't touch us.
Look, Americans really like their personal space. It's like they have a bubble around them, and if you get too close to them, they feel very, very, very uncomfortable, okay? So make sure you give them a little distance when you are there, you know, because I know when I go to Italy and Spain and stuff, we're like, Mark, how's it going? All this stuff. And
bro, listen. All right, so I live half the time in Spain. I have to say this because some people just don't know, right? Anyway, so in Spain, people will walk up to you and kiss you. It's just like, bro, I don't want to kiss you. I don't know you. Can we just shake hands or like a fist bump or something? I don't want you touching me ever. All right? But all right.
My American...
all types of people. Keep this in mind.
Friends sometimes go, wow, they're really, really affectionate. Like, that's just how it is. Here, space is key. The second don't I have for you is don't count on public transportation. Look, when we were in China and we were throughout Europe and South America, we took buses and trains and planes and all kinds of stuff to get all over the place because public transport is really developed.
It's efficient.
Here in the U.S., you cannot count on public transport to get you a lot of places. Yes, in big cities like New York and Chicago and stuff like that.
Yeah, it'll be super consistent there, but if you're anywhere else, you forget about it. Absolutely. Guys, all the car lobbies have made sure that our public transportation is trash and we have to utilize vehicles and spend money on gas. Right? I mean, this is what America is. We're a capitalist thing.
You can get around for the public transport and it'll take you where you want to go. But a lot of towns, small towns especially, and middle-sized cities, the public transportation networks are not very good. And at night, sometimes it's not very safe. So that is... it's kind of a frustrating thing. So yes, you're going to probably have to rent a car when you come here, okay? So just have a heads up for that. And that kind of leads into the next don't I have for you is don't underestimate the size of the U.S. The United States, continental U.S. is like continental Europe. It's huge. I mean, would you think of driving from, I'm going to do, from Lisbon to Paris and then go up to Tallinn and then head down to Sofia? No, you're like, that is insanely far. It's the same thing when you come to the U.S. I meet a lot of travelers that are like, I'm going to fly into New York, grab a car, drive down to Miami to see Miami Beach, and then head over to L.A. I'm like, dude, you got 2 weeks? You're going to spend the entire time in cars. The distances here are insane. So what I recommend is picking a region. So, we're going to stay here in New England and see New England. Or we're going to go in the Southeast, go to Atlanta and Savannah and Charleston, things like that. Or visit the West Coast. You do that to get better...
No, don't go to the West Coast. Forget that.
...idea of the culture there and things like that. But also, it's just the logistics things because it's so far between the places. And to go along with that, for Americans, a 3 to 4 hour drive... that's a day trip. Like my parents live 3 hours away. I will literally get up, go drive, have lunch with my mom, and then drive back home just for lunch. 6 hours in the car. No big deal. It's about 7 hours when we start to think, that kind of is a long drive. And we drive the entire way through. Okay,
I'll give him this, guys, because, like, for example, so I live in the south of Spain when I'm in Spain, in Malaga. And I can definitely tell you right now, if I was to tell my wife, hey, listen, let's go, I don't know, get lunch in Madrid today, right? She's going to be like, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Drive half the country? It doesn't make any sense. So, like, for example, anything more than about 20, 30 minutes, she'll start to complain, period. But, like, so when we're in America, we're in the Atlanta area, and I can definitely tell you, we drive longer than that every single day. Like, no matter when, if we leave the house right now, I'm not going to be back for 2 hours, bro. And that's basically for almost anything I'm doing. I can almost guarantee it, guys. Or an hour. Let's just say an hour. It's going to take me 20 minutes to get to some place that's pretty much technically close here, but in Spain, for Spain, that would be crazy. You're driving 20 minutes out of the way to somewhere. Why are you doing that? Like, what you want is right here in the city. Why are you leaving the city for something? It's crazy. guys. I get it.
This isn't like, oh, I must stop every 2 hours and have a 15-minute break. Oh, no. No. We drive all the way through, okay?
Yeah, I can't do that anymore, guys. Like living in Spain for so long, there's no way I can drive straight somewhere.
Okay. Now, my next don't for you when you come here is don't think that the sticker price is the end price. Look, in the U.S., we have sales tax. I know other countries, they have VAT, value-added taxes. They're already put into the price of products. So when you see, it's $1 or €1, I only pay €1. In the U.S., it is not like that. We have sales tax, so a certain percentage is added onto that product. And the thing is, I cannot tell you what the sales tax will be where you're going to travel because it's different everywhere.
Right.
Cities, states, counties, different products have different sales taxes, and some products don't have sales taxes. Some cities don't have sales taxes. Some have 10% sales tax. It can be different anywhere you go. So if you're going to go get your dollar menu item at a McDonald's or a Culver's or wherever, it's not going to be $1. Where I live, there's 2 cities right by where I live. One, it's going to be $1.08. The other one, it's going to be $1.09. So be ready for that. And it's not just the sales tax. Also, there could be the tipping on top. And that leads us into the 5th don't, and that is don't forget to tip. Look, in the U.S., you tip 15 to 20% at a sit-down restaurant, okay? Now, McDonald's, stuff like that, no, you don't tip at a fast food place.
Now, I mean, listen, now you do. I don't know when this video was up here, guys, but like during the 19, right, everyone started using like these tablet devices, right? And those tablet devices, of course, they have the option to turn off the concept of a tip in some of these places that you would never tip in. But now, all of these other places are like, tip me. I'm at the gas station. Please add a tip to your whatever you're buying. Bro, what are you talking about? I have never tipped you. This is not a tipping service. You're going tip crazy. Right? So like, guys, in a couple of months, I'll be bringing my my father-in-law and my mother-in-law here. Right? And they're coming here, coming to America for the first time ever. And I'm going to have to try to explain this to them when they go into stores. Like, listen, whatever price you see is definitely not what you think it is. Right? Because, in Spain, if something is 10 euros, guess how much it's going to cost out the door? 10 euros, right? I mean, there's already enough profit in that item to literally sell it for the cost. Like, even in America, guys, there's enough profit based off of what they're actually paying from cost and on, right? There's enough profit to kind of eat that in the price for everything that we buy. There is, all right? Us paying like this is just an excuse. Like, we are so used to it. And anyone who says, yeah, this is a great idea, just pass it on to the customer. Bro, it's a trash thing to do, guys, right? And the same thing with when it comes down to like waitresses and things like that. Listen, they should be getting an actual wage rather than, $2-3 an hour. All right. So all of that comes back onto the client going in there to eat and then having to tip them. Right. If you want to tip them, it shouldn't be a mandatory thing. They should be they should be getting paid an hourly wage. Right. But listen. Let's continue.
But it's a sit-down restaurant where they bring you your food and stuff like that. You will tip them 15 to 20%. If you are in a group of 6 people or more, sometimes they automatically put the gratuity on there, which sometimes can be 18% or something like that. Look, when you come to the U.S., there's a reason why the food is like so affordable. You're like, wow, it's cheap to go out and eat in the U.S. It's because there's kind of this understanding that the service fees and paying for the workers and the waitresses and stuff like that, that goes on to you, the person eating there, with the tips. So the food and stuff can be cheaper when you go out to eat.
Bro, the food is cheaper in Spain than it is in America.
And I know a lot of people say, I don't believe in tipping, and this tipping isn't the right thing. They should pay their people more. Well, yeah. if you want to pay more for your food, they can do that. But they don't, okay? So tipping is something we do here in the U.S., so do tip that 15 to 20%. Oh, also, if you're at a bar and you're buying...
That's still an excuse, bro. That's still an excuse. I can definitely tell you the food the food quality is much higher in Europe, almost by far, less of the nonsense that we have in the States. The food is not specifically cheaper than what's in Europe, guys.
Drinks, you're going to want to tip a couple dollars here and there. Otherwise, the bartender might not be too quick to come back and get you your next drink. So following off of those tips, what you need to realize is our next don't is don't be freaked out by the over-the-top service and free stuff you sometimes get in the U.S. Look, because of tipping and commissions and stuff like that, yes, there is a lot of over-the-top service here. But the thing is, in the U.S., the people actually are pretty nice and they want to help people. And sometimes for some travelers, if they come from countries where people don't get a lot of service sometimes, it can be a bit much, so don't freak out about it. Also with that is don't be freaked out with some of the
that is an unseasoned piece of corn on your wife's plate there, sir.
Free stuff you get when you go to restaurants. Look, if you go to a restaurant and they bring you bread and water or chips and salsa and all those really good things, that's included in your meal. Okay, so if you're going to be buying something, they're going to give you some free stuff. It might be some bread, it might be a salad, it might be a water, it might be something like that. So don't be like shocked when wait, I didn't order this bread, I didn't order this salad. Oh no, that comes with your meal. Okay. Now the thing is though, you can't just go in and get chips and salsa and walk out. All right, you actually have to order some food when you go there. Now my next don't for you is don't smoke cigarettes in the U.S. If you're smoking cigarettes in the U.S., people will look at you like you're trying to kill their baby. Cigarettes is totally forbidden. People really frown upon it, which is funny because when they talk about marijuana and stuff like that, people don't seem to care as much. But cigarettes, oh, you're trying to kill my baby with that cigarette 2 blocks away. So if you do smoke, make sure you try to find a place where you can smoke, because a lot of restaurants, or pretty much all restaurants, hotels, stuff like that, have smoke-free. It's smoke-free, so you got to go 15 to 20 feet away from doing things, so that can be something.
All right, guys, listen. So here's the thing. I have no idea what region of the U.S. that he's referring to. I'm sure people could think one thing, but why do you care what people think about you? I'm just saying. Listen, that's all I'm saying, right? And yeah, guys, if you're in a hotel, obviously you can't smoke, guys, right? And definitely you can't smoke outside of buildings. Generally, that's why I'm sure a lot of people here vape, right? So if you need nicotine, then there you go. You got some nicotine. But I've never seen anyone, or maybe I just literally don't care what people think of me like that. I don't. So I don't know if that's why I never noticed what he just said. I've never noticed that before, guys. But
so I've come here outside my favorite liquor store to give you the next don't. And that is, don't try to buy alcohol unless you're 21, or cigarettes unless you're 18 or over in the U.S. They will not sell them to you. And the thing is, don't forget your ID, because if you look like you're 40 or under, they may ask you for that. And don't get mad at them, because if they don't ask, they could get in trouble and get fined. So don't be surprised, because we've had friends that have come here, try to buy alcohol, and they're like, sorry, you don't look old enough. Oh, I don't have my ID. Too bad. And the thing is, it's not just the person buying. They might ask anybody with you, so make sure everybody has their ID if they want to buy liquor, or they want to buy alcohol, or if they want to buy cigarettes. So just FYI on that one. Oh, that's also another don't I have for you is don't bother with a metric system when you come here. We don't use meters, we don't use kilometers, we don't use liters. It is inches, feet, miles, gallons, pounds, things like that. And I'll put a conversion chart here to show you, but honestly, you may say, hey, how far is it to this next town? And they'll tell you, oh, it's 60 miles. You're like, what's that? Just know 60 miles, it's about 100 kilometers, okay?
For example, so when people come and visit, specifically me in the States from Europe, I will literally tell them, listen, don't even worry about the miles. I'd give them a rough estimate. I'm just listen, minutes driving at 60 miles an hour. That's it. So if it says 60 on your dashboard, understand it's going to take you roughly a minute if you're able to maintain that for a minute. That's what I say. It's easier to just explain 10 minutes that way. You'll see this, personally. Okay, so just do that, because the people here won't get it. I mean, I have people, when I'll tell them, oh, it's 100 meters away, they're like, 100 meters? It's 100 yards. Oh, okay. So make sure you do know. Do that. That could work. That definitely works. Because I remember when I first moved to Spain, my wife had to basically explain things kind of similar to kind of that, right? Listen, yards. She would basically stop using meters almost instantly, right? And just only tell me things in yards, because that's the only way I can understand that. Until I understood a meter is kind of a yard. It's so close that I don't even think it even matters on big distances, if that makes any sense, guys.
Your imperial system, okay? Because metric, we don't do that so much here. So our next don't is when you do come to the U.S., there's a couple things you don't talk about, okay? One is gun control, and two is politics, because no matter where you are, you...
Guys, I've never had a single person come here and was not like, let's go to the shooting range right now. All right, they can say whatever they want to say outside of the country. They've never had a gun in their hands. It's fine. You can say whatever you want to say. It's fine. I generally don't listen to people at all if they have anything to say about guns and they've never shot a gun. I'm just like, you know, like for example, I absolutely strongly dislike onions. Right now, I've had onions in my mouth. And I think that they're disgusting, right? So I think I can tell you now personally that onions are terrible. I guess that was a bad example. Another example would be something that I've never eaten before. I'm telling you it's nasty, basically. It's nasty because I couldn't imagine or fathom this being in my mouth. Do you trust my opinion or even care about my opinion? Not really, bro. Let's go.
We'll get people on either side of the spectrum, and they will have an argument with you. So it's best just to lay off those topics. Talk about the weather. Oh, wouldn't it be nicer if it was sunny today and we could go sailing? Yes, that would be much better than discussing gun control or politics. Just putting that one out there for you right now.
Right.
Now, my next note for you is don't assume that all the U.S. and all the Americans are the same. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, you're a typical American. Well, it's like saying you're a typical European. Look, the U.S. has all kinds of different cultures, all kinds of different people, all kinds of different topography and scenery and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And when you come here, don't assume it's all the same. You will see regional differences in cuisines and how people treat each other and how everything looks, all kinds of stuff. So don't just think there's just one kind of American. They're all fat, slobby guys with ponytails.
America. You just defined America in such a way that was amazing. America with the U, right? I don't have a ponytail though, but all right, let's get it.
No.
Oh, and big lifted trucks with big wheels. Say that also, bro. And guns.
There's actually a lot of skinny people in America too, not just fat guys like me and my buddy Jeff. There are those. So don't assume it's all the same, all right? So do go out and explore. And that's why I always say is if you're going to come to the U.S., go and explore different regions because you'll get a really different feel. Because going to the southeast and seeing the plantation homes and going to see the southern towns down there versus going to the northwest and Seattle and Portland or going to San Francisco or going to the Midwest with Chicago and Milwaukee, you're going to have a very different feel, which is really a cool thing to do. And you start to understand is, wow, the U.S. does have a lot of different cultures within it, a lot of different feelings when you go around here. And following on with that, I guess I would say another don't assume there's no culture in the U.S. because there are a lot of cultural centers out there. If you go down to New Orleans, you see a very rich culture there. You go to New York or Boston, here in New England, you have a very distinct culture. In the Midwest with Chicago, Milwaukee, you go to the West Coast. I mean, there's a lot of different culture here. Historic culture with the Native Americans or more recent culture here. I mean, you have all that here you can really take in. And saying there's no culture in the U.S., it's not really true because there are all these different cultural centers with great museums like the Art Institute of Chicago or the Met in New York, the Getty in LA. There's all kinds of stuff you can see and do when you are here. For a cultural trip, it's not just seeing beautiful landscapes and seascapes like we are here in Connecticut. There's a lot more to it than that. Now, my next don't for you.
Is that beautiful?
It's one that I kind of get a lot of questions about. We actually have a video.
This may sound super crazy, guys, but like, I don't really find anything interesting. Like, for example, I'm a photographer, like by trade. I've been a photographer for 2 decades now, guys, right? So, like, I look at it, I'm just like, yeah, America really isn't. I don't know. Like, I mean, they have, it has its moments in terms of like being absolutely beautiful. It's probably going to be on like the West Coast. Right, or maybe like Hawaii is absolutely stunning. You know, and some of these unique places that have been photographed since the beginning of time. Right, those places are interesting. But like, if you like live in like a random city in America, it's probably gonna be boring to photograph, guys. Charleston is beautiful to photograph, though.
You on this, and then that is, don't think that how are you or how's it going is actually a question. Look, when we say how's it going, how are you?
Right. We don't want to talk to you, really. Right? We really don't want to talk to you. We're just saying that in passing because it's like something that we think is nice to do. Right? Like, hey, how you doing? I don't want to have a conversation with you, bro. I'm just saying that you don't even have, bro. Listen, if you don't even answer, I'm completely fine with that.
These kind of things in the U.S., it's not a question, it's a statement. It's like saying hi. Okay, just take it as a hi. Because a lot of people say, everyone asks me how I'm doing. When I try to tell them how I'm feeling, they're like, well, I was just saying, how are you?
Right.
Here, how are you is just hi. Think of it that way. It's like in France, ça va, ça va. How's it going? How's it going? We're good to go. In Portuguese, tudo bem, everything good. You answer back, tudo bem, everything good. It's just, how are you? How are you? You move on, okay? Don't think it's an actual question, all right? Now, another don't I have for you is don't expect a lot at the fancy hotels. You know, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to pay more money for this hotel. I'm probably going to get nicer stuff, like a nicer breakfast, better Wi-Fi. Oh, no. For some reason in the U.S., it seems like the nicer the hotel, the more you have to pay for the things you think would be free, like Wi-Fi and breakfast. So don't feel like you have to stay at the fancy hotels, because honestly, if you're going to be going out and exploring, you just need a couple beds, right? So stay at the hotels in the U.S., and the cheaper ones will give you free Wi-Fi.
Just be careful of these places, though, obviously, right? Because some of these places are cheap, but if that's depending on the city they're in, they could be known for like illicit nightly behavior. Right? You know, people walking down the street, selling services, these type of things. I mean, if that's what you're looking for, go for it. But that also means that people would be picking potentially these people up and bringing them to this hotel. So be fully aware if you have your kids in there. It may get noisy in your next room. Without me saying too much there, but just be fully aware. A lot of things like that happen in a lot of the super like uber affordable hotels,
free
or motels,
breakfast, all these kind of things, which is really nice. So don't expect that from the fancy hotels. Another don't I have for you is don't skip out on the local food. Look, we're here in New England. We're here in Connecticut. We've been having lobster and clams and oh my God, New England clam chowder. Oh, my tummy is just like more. It's fantastic. When I'm in the South, man.
Is that what it said?
And Southern fried chicken, mac and cheese, barbecue. Oh my God.
Bro, the South, barbecue. The South is for food, right? Period. Just food in general. Meats, right? When you start talking about like the New England, yeah, definitely it's going to be mostly seafood. Like New Orleans, Louisiana area, it's going to be like a lot of seafood. Stay away from Florida, right? But everywhere else is going to have really good food. Tennessee, you know, the Carolinas have all great food.
Food in the different regions in the U.S. are great. So don't just go to chain restaurants. When you go to your hotel, ask them.
Yeah, guys, those beignets are crazy.
Hey, what's some local restaurants around here? What's some locally owned and operated restaurants so you can go there and check out those places because they really give you a great experience. And I find a lot of times those ones actually have better service than the chain restaurants because it's a mom and pop place where the owner is the ones helping you out. And that is really kind of a cool thing. Now, my next don't for you is don't get sick. Look, healthcare in the U.S. is insanely expensive. And just because you come from another country doesn't mean they're not going to find you for the bill. All right. So if you're going to be coming here, make sure you get travel insurance or trip insurance. So in case you do get sick or you do break an ankle or you.
Bro, you still don't want to do it. Listen, if I were you coming from mainly Europe specifically, bro, just go home early. Try to deal with whatever's going on the plane and go back to your country and get it done for free, period. Because I can tell you right now, if anything happens, I'm getting onto a plane and I'm going back to Spain where I have my insurance card and my national insurance card, guys. There's no way I'm doing anything here at all, bro. No chance.
You do break an arm or something happens to you, your insurance will cover it. Now, you might have to pay it first and your insurance pays you back, but at least you'll get something back because healthcare here in the U.S. is insanely expensive, okay? So make sure you're prepared for that. And I guess my last don't I'm going to have for you is one that people actually got mad at me for when I lived in other countries when I told them the U.S. has 50 states. And they said, no, the U.S. has 52 states. Look. Don't think the U.S. has 52 states. The U.S. has 50 states, okay? Just
50 states and multiple territories. We don't claim Puerto Rico or Guam or the Marshall Islands or USVI as like states, guys. We don't. But some people outside of the United States of America think absolutely. We have like 56 states. These other places do not have any statehood.
Heads up on that one. I'm sure that people are going to be commenting down below that when I was in school, they told me 52. No, there's 48 on the mainland, and then Alaska and Hawaii are 49 and 50, all right? So those are our don'ts for visiting the U.S.
Is that why people think we had 50? Oh God, guys, that just made my head hurt. Listen, honestly, if you were to ask people, and they said, yeah, we have 52 states, and the reason why we have 52 states is because we have 50 on the mainland and 2 outside, I would have just said, yep, okay. No problem. Listen, I didn't know that that's what they were talking about. That makes it even worse. I would have just let them have it, bro. I'm not even getting into the argument with them. I refuse that argument. You know what? Because there's no point.
What are some of the don'ts you have for the U.S.? Because I know there's more out there. I just want to get some of these out there to help out travelers heading to the U.S. just so we can get things going. Anyway, if you like videos like this, we have stuff on what the don'ts of going to Russia, the don'ts of going to Germany, the don'ts of going to Brazil and things like that. And we really like helping travelers with honest travel advice. So if you like this video, do click that subscribe button. It means a lot to us, and we put new travel videos out every Wednesday and Saturday.
Guys, I think this is a really good video, honestly. I think for people that are coming from outside of the United States of America, that have never been here, and they're just like, hey, listen, I need to know what to do, what not to do. This is a good video. I think you went over a lot of things. Like, there are a couple like small geographical things that you probably should be worrying about. Like New York, if you're going to New York very specifically, make sure you look at New York guides, right? Like subway etiquette. That's a really important thing because that's how people get in trouble there. Right? Like try not to look too deeply into people's eyes. They will take offense to that type of thing in Manhattan. If they don't know you and they're not attracted to you, there are a couple of things here. If they don't know you and they're not attracted to you, which you could never know, right? But if you don't look at them, ignore them. On the subway, look up or look down. Don't look across. You don't know that person. Right? Like New York has its own very specific, set of rules. In the South, they're very different. In the rest of the country, they're very different. I think New York is that weird anomaly of, anomalous place that needs probably its own guide individually. Right? But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day and enjoy your day.